Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and, can we be upfront and real about it? I made a video a couple days ago talking about why I'm not liking the live service video gaming, okay? Now, judging by the title, you know that we're talking about Destiny 2, which, as a GTA Online player, okay, my expectations for, new content is actually so to the ground that it kisses the asphalt, okay? Like literally, my expectations cannot go any lower, okay? That's just how bad it is. And I think the expectation for most live service games, most players kind of get that, okay? I remember when, I used to be like the most active Siege player in the world, and the new seasons were really, really good, okay? Like every season that came out, all right, you always got like the operator, it felt like an entire experience, okay? Haven't felt that in years at this point, okay? If I'm gonna be honest with you, now Destiny 2 is one of those games where I'm gonna straight up say it, it's a good game. It plays well, and if you want to ask my history of Destiny, I'm not the most active player, so this is a video that's coming from the perspective of somebody that doesn't dump 80 hours a week into this game. When Destiny 1 came out, I loved that, okay? One of my most played PS4 games at the time. I played the heck out of the PvE. I would play the multiplayer as much as I would play something like Halo. I'm not even joking, it was that good. Now, when Destiny 2 came out, I was like, all right, I'm ready, I'm down, I'm gonna jump onto the train. And I played it for a bit, fell off, and every time I try loading up Destiny 2, it is a good game. It plays well, it's a decent looter shooter, it runs decent. The only reason I honestly don't play it as much is because I use Linux, and Bungie hates Linux users, Steam Deck users, so, they don't want my money, bye-bye. I have a Windows system back there that occasionally I fire up a lot of those games on, just so I don't, break any rules. But the game plays well, okay? Anybody can load up Destiny 2 and say, yeah, it's a decent enough game. It's a fine looter shooter. The problem with it is, like, before you get to the game part, you always have to dodge the stupid cash shop in the beginning. Every time you load up Destiny 2, it's like, you're like Neo from the Matrix trying to avoid all the fucking stores that are invading you. Now, to understand, Destiny 2's breakdown is like this, okay? You sign onto the game, you go to the hub world, you have a bunch of quests that you can do, and generally you can choose to play the game, in PvE fashion. You can do Vanguard missions. If you like PvP, you can do the Crucible. And if you like, the Gambit, which is like PvE VP, like teams of 4 and a bunch of AI, then that's, your level up tree right there. And generally, I've always felt that if you liked a certain aspect of this game, you could just exclusively play that and earn whatever, gear set you wanted. Now, there is a definite grind to Destiny, okay? There's a 40-hour work week requirement, but then again, in modern live service games, when is that concept not true, sadly? Now, literally a couple days ago, Bungie posted the most cope thread I've ever seen in my life. Now, Bungie, who recently did split, not recently, but they split away from Activision. I think now they're part of, like, Sony. So, to understand, this is the state of the game, August 2023, posted literally yesterday, okay? And this is where, like, they pretty much tell people to lower their expectations for their game. Now, generally speaking, there are two facets of Destiny 2 that have a pretty sizable player base. One of them is the PvP, because it's a shooter game. You're gonna have a PvP segment. And Gambit players, which again is the PvE VP. So let's go into it, okay? Guardians versus Guardians. Thanks to the hard work of multiple teams, we've delivered several additions to PvP over the past few seasons. This includes the launch of Competitive Division, blah blah blah, revamp of the Trials of Osiris, whatever. The most frequent feedback we see is that there is just not enough new PvP content, specifically new maps. To set expectations, our studio structure is built to support more overarching updates to PvP like the ones above, rather than focusing exclusively on maps. When we do focus our resources on building new maps, it comes with a trade-off to multiple teams' bandwidth on work that contributes to a variety of experiences the players hold dear, such as the new story and the exotic mission content. So again, pretty much building new maps for this game takes away the resources from, I guess, other parts of the game that people play. Now, because these are live service games, they're usually filled with all the analytics a growing fucking boy needs. And for a lot of these people, they have massive teams that basically analyze this data. And, you know, from a sound business perspective, they're probably better off spent putting money into places where the majority of the player base lies, okay? They know that if like 30% of the audience plays PvP material, they're probably going to put more effort and money into like the campaign side. Do I think that's okay? It's a great business sense, but generally the idea here is that, you know, people who are starved for content should just temper their expectations, okay? Because they're pretty much not important enough. With that said, we have some exciting content coming to PvP this month. Oh yeah, what do you got going on here, buddy? Update on our advances to game security to combat cheaters. Boy, that is like the most generic shit that any live service game can say. Yeah, we're updating our anti-cheat, okay? You're gonna get less cheaters. Every game does this, okay? Thank you for basically stating something that everyone already knew. Now for season 22, God, that's a lot of seasons, man. We have a new Vex network-themed map debuting along with the new Relic 6v6 mode. So I guess, you know, you got this new kind of like cyberpunky map. Speaking of the last expansion, Lightfall, probably one of the most dogshit expansion packs. Can I just explain one of the biggest issues I have with Destiny? Primarily, and one of the reasons why my friends don't get into this game. When you buy Destiny 2, you're not just buying a game, okay? You're buying the ability to walk into a store, okay? And what I mean by that is, anytime I pitch this game, I'm like, hey, you guys want to get into some Destiny 2 with me? Oh, sure, Muda, I'd love to. And then you open up the store and you look up the prices for the expansion packs, and all your friends are like, yeah, I'm kind of good, man. I mean, you know, say what you will about GTA Online, but you buy the game once and you can grind for all the expansion stuff that comes out. Destiny? Better get ready to take out some second mortgages, okay, to keep up with this game's pricing scheme. And obviously, Bungie, you know, big company, all right, I believe they're in the multi-billions, all right. In fact, not just Bungie, but they're also pretty much like, they have a ownership stake from Sony. Money shouldn't be an issue, all right. If you need to produce more content, I would highly consider you guys build bigger teams or build newer teams to help supplement you, okay? So Gambit, all right, I told you. As many of you notice, we've been quiet on Gambit since last year's overhaul that launched alongside the Witch Queen, which, I will say, was a pretty decent expansion. In that revamp, the team made significant changes across 5 categories, okay? But they also say, while we don't have plans to dedicate more resources to significantly transform Gambit, we do have a few updates planned for the year of the final shape. These include porting the Cathedral of Scars map and its beautiful Dreaming City setting to the latest version of Destiny. You guys are getting a map port, bitches! You ain't even getting anything new! At least the PvP guys got a new map! The Gambit people got nothing! Oh man, you can't make this up. God damn. Armor set rewards. A long time ago, we shared a plan to address concerns on reward balance. Players have pointed out that we didn't release a new armor set for the Ritual playlist. With Lightfall, they'll release the Eververse expansions, you know, the paid-for skins up the... Those'll drive right into the... Those hit the roadmap like a drunk driver on Mardi Gras, bro. Not the Ritual playlist stuff. No, none of that. You know, it's very rare that even the Ritual sets look good enough to use, but anyways. Delivering Ritual armor sets at the rates we have in the past have become increasingly challenging, especially considering these sets have historically had a very low adoption by players. Yeah, because they're ugly, okay? You save the good ones for the cash shop, which I get it, okay? You want people to spend big money, but you can't just release dog shit and say, yeah, well, people aren't using it. Of course they're not, okay? They're human beings, not rats. At this time, we are amending our delivery plan for how often we refresh these sets, and will no longer be creating a new set for every... I mean, this is just hilarious to me, man. To be honest with you, I didn't expect much out of Destiny. Like, my expectations were low, but holy shit. They have managed to take those expectations and slam them to the goddamn center of the earth, ladies and gentlemen. I think one of the best showcases on the community is this. He was forced to make one new armor set and recolor it 3 times. Truly some Daily Motion levels of content quality. Now, to understand, obviously the Destiny 2 players are pretty pissed off in this situation, and rightfully so. You know, I think a lot of people say, oh, but Bungie's that little indie company, maybe it is really hard for them, Muda, to make this new content. And at the end of the day, look, if you're going to keep a game running like this for so long, and you want to try to keep players' attrition rates necessarily high, then you should really commit to producing a level of content, at least content that you previously, committed to an extent. You know, one of the things with Destiny 2 is, like, it's a great game. It really is a good game. I would not be making this video if it wasn't for the fact that I've had hours put into this game, and I've genuinely enjoyed my time. But to see how hyper monetized this game is, and then to see the lack of delivery on even the most basic of releases, is not just bad for Destiny 2, but it's also pretty eye-opening for the state of live service-based games. You know, these kind of games, these experiences were pitched with the idea that we would get constantly good content throughout a period of time in stability. But in reality, in this situation, this is one of the most hyper-monetized games out there. They make a crap ton of cash. They definitely have the money to constantly evolve and build newer teams to meet up with that demand and provide at least what should be baseline levels of content. Destiny 2 is probably in some of the worst shape that it's been in quite a long time. And for a lot of people going into this final expansion and even thinking, man, if this is how bad Destiny 2 is getting now, could you imagine how bad Destiny 3 is going to be? That's a situation that's brought up. Hopefully, I honestly hope to God that they can turn this thing around, because I really do believe that this is a great game in the bottom. Like, at the end of the day, the core Destiny 2 is great. It's just everything surrounding it is a pile of fecal matter. And realistically, for gamers, you don't have to spend your money or your time playing Destiny 2. There's far better games out there right now, even in the same vein. You know, I would just say, if you're going to spend your money on a game right now, Baldur's Gate 3 just dropped, okay? You might as well buy that game and play what is a completed experience right now, all right? Yeah, it's not the same genre of game, I get it. But in terms of value, in terms of an actual game company that's respecting its player base, you might as well look outside of Bungie at the moment. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.